Black doesn't know what's happening anymore. The last thing he remembers was being sucked into something, then an implosion, and then nothing. However, as Black is starting to wake up, he feels himself floating. He finally gathers the strength to open his eyes, only to see the vastness of space. Or is it not? Finally aware, Black opens his eyes and begins to adjust himself, only to find out where he is. He's in a place he's not familiar with. A place so foreign, so interesting that it doesn't make sense to him. Looking around, he tries to see if there's anything at all. Upon the vastness that he's in, he does find his sword. His broken sword. Back to square one, I guess. Black grabs his sword as he attempts to swim around this vastness. Upon swimming through this space, he notices that it's almost beautiful, with orbs of light shimmering in the back, a line of clusters almost stretching out far beyond he can comprehend. But upon swimming and swimming through this strange space, he notices something that makes his heart drop. Upon near one of the orbs of light, there, floating nearby, are debris, destroyed structures of a place, a world he called home. Most of the buildings that are endlessly floating here have lost so much pieces and don't even look the same anymore. Black couldn't believe it. He had just stumbled, awoken into this strange space, and now he sees this. He begins to wonder, and he wonders a lot. Is he dead? But before he can think any more, he notices something. A figure. A weird-looking figure near the orb of light. It seems like it's looking at him. But why? Suddenly, the entity's voice echoes as it begins to speak to Black. My. What a performance you've done out there. You know, I really wasn't expecting you to go out like that. But, at the same time, why do you think I'm here? Black becomes wary. Wary about what this creature is. Wary about why it's talking to him. Look, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you are. Where the hell am I? What is this place? What is going on? The entity just stares at Black with some ill intentions behind them. You're here because you saved everyone. You're a hero. Bravo. But your world is gone. Taken from some sort of machinery that broke your world. Or is there a more better way of saying it? Stop joking. Tell me where I am. And why would I? To ruin all the fun? No. You're here. with me. In this great place. And now that you're here, I can have all the time I want with you. Then, a tar-like bidon manifests itself and floats nearby this entity. The entity sends the bidon towards Black, but luckily he barely dodges it. Black, looking back at where the bidon went, looks back at the entity with fury.
Okay, you wanna go?
No, I think I'd prefer to stay. Oh, haha, very. Debris sends Black away as the bidon had returned with a piece of rock and metal, smacking and hurting Black. Black is flung away almost few feet away before regaining his control. For a few seconds, the entity approaches with quick speeds as he uses the bidon to smack Black once again. The force sends Black into one of the destroyed buildings endlessly floating in this great beyond. Black is hurt badly as he tries to regain his steps. Now inside of a building, he slowly tries to stand up. He's coughing. There's a little blood that comes out from him. He looks around to see where he is. It's a very familiar place. It's the mansion from that one Halloween night. Before he can regain his thoughts, the entity voices his pleasure in this fight. Finally, I get to use the animator's toy and break it to my own will. The entity appears underneath Black, sending him to the ceiling. The entity uses the bidon to pierce Black into the ceiling. Black is now trapped in the ceiling by the neck. He can't move. He can't do anything. What's the matter? You still got fear left in you? Even after all you've done? The entity releases the bidon as he uses the bidon to smack Black out of the building. He is back endlessly floating in this spacious void. Black doesn't even have a chance, or he's not even getting a chance to even fight back. And he was right. As he sees the entity start to make haste, then he sees his bidon. It's changing? The tar-like bidon grows in size as it begins to change shape to a ginormous hand. Then the hand becomes almost the size of his head. As it grabs him, Black panics, but he finds this as an attack of opportunity. He swings the broken hilt towards the entity. It cuts him. A clean swipe. The entity's face is cleaved open. But something happens. The cleaved head of the entity begins to slowly regenerate. The head stitches itself using blood and tar. Once the entity's head is fully regenerated, it looks back at Black. I'm going to have so much fun breaking you. You know that? The entity chucks Black into another destroyed building. This time, Black finds himself into a stadium. A fighting stadium? Black starts to bleed, coughing up more and more blood in the process. The entity slowly approaches, descending down the stadium's ceiling. As the entity arrives, both Black and the entity stare at each other in the ring in this destroyed reminder of a memory. What do you want from me? What else? To make you suffer? Haven't I suffered enough? True. But I'm here to give you a suffering that either you'll forget all you'll remember. Black finally stands on his 2 feet and readies himself for a fight. I see you still have some fighting in you, even though I was a little bit unfair myself. Fine then. The entity's tar-like bident transforms into a sword. On God, Blackwell. The two begin to have a sword fight. Black is stumbling, almost struggling, seeing as he was given an unfair disadvantage. The sound of tar begins to surround the entire stadium. Pieces of the material start falling, splatting into the seats. The tar in the ceiling begins to grow and grow and grow. Don't you see now? You're all alone. Your world is gone. And yet, you still have that spirit to fight. The entity swings his weapon towards Black. Black tries to defend himself, but is pushed out of the ring. He is thrown into the seats, where he is covered in tar. Black, crusty, pungent tar. Don't you see? It doesn't matter if I win or lose. I'm just having fun. After all, entertainment is the best way of escapism. The tar begins to swallow Black, but before it even envelops him, the tar rises up. It shoots Black out of the stadium and back into this great beyond. Black is severely injured, coughing up a lot and a lot. So many bruises on him, and still he holds the sword. Black is gently floating, gently pondering. What can he do? Then he looks as something shines his way. The orb of light. The thing he saw earlier. Black tries to swim towards the orb of light, thinking that maybe it could help him? He looks down at the stadium. The stadium now filled with tar. This black, crude material. Black can see that the entity is approaching him. Slowly, but surely, approaching him. He doesn't have time for this. He doesn't want to fight this thing anymore. He just wants to go home. Then, the orb of light pulses as it strikes a lightning towards Black. Black expects it to hurt, but it doesn't. Then, the lightning pulls Black into the orb of light. The entity stops in its tracks as it sees that Black has escaped him. The entity looks at the orb of light, contemplating until, well, at least I had my fun. Seeing that this is pretty much concluded, the entity disappears.